All right, shalom, and welcome to another show of GMS Collage. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, first and foremost. Double honors to the elders, and honors and salutations to you other brothers that are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. I'm just getting off work. I got a hold of this newspaper at work, and I was reading it while I was in the bathroom, and it spoke about, I'll read the heading here. It says, U.S. allies must present united response to Russia. Now, this paper is the Patriot Ledger. It's a reputable paper here in the greater Boston area. And this particular section of the paper is just a blog of sorts. I don't know if you'd call it a blog while it's in a newspaper, but it's just the opinion of the writer. But it's speaking about, Russia's recent invasion of the Ukraine, and of course it goes with prophecy. So I figured I'd read through it a little bit. It's probably it'll probably take me about a couple minutes to read it, and then read a scripture that goes with what's going on, and hopefully the brothers get edified by it. So without further ado, here it goes. It says, Russia's invasion and occupation of a region in Ukraine demand a unified and robust response from the United States and its allies that imposes serious penalties on Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. Now, just to touch on that a little bit, the United States is always getting involved in some affair of someone else. Now, we know the scriptures say a house divided against itself shall not stand. And the U.S. and Russia, they're both ruled by Edomites. So for them to go up against each other, that's an indicator that this society, this world that we live in, is getting ready to crumble. All right. It says the West must deliver a message that deters further hostile moves by Russia's military. Forget the exhortations of armchair strategists who would take American military forces to DEFCON 1 combat status immediately. Russian forces cannot be dislodged at this point without raising the stakes to the level of a possible showdown between nuclear powers. No one wants that. So they're saying, in other words, the only way you can get Russia out of there is if the two nuclear powers meet. And as we know, the United States and Russia are the two major nuclear powers in the world. So it's heating up, man. It's getting hot. All right. It says, forget as well the lame excuses of apologists who say Putin's actions was necessary to protect Russia's vital national interests in an area of strategic importance to his country. That's bogus. Ukraine is a sovereign country that has rejected the Russian bear's embrace in no uncertain terms. Its people have been demonstrating since November against the puppet government of the pro-Russian Ukrainian leader Viktor Yanukovych, forcing him to flee when he realized his situation was untenable. His flight exposed the failure of Russian policy in the Ukraine, an embarrassment that the Kremlin's leaders apparently found intolerable. If Russia has a complaint about the treatment of the Russian-speaking majority among the Crimea's 2 million residents, or any other issue with Ukraine for that matter, there are ways to resolve the problem short of a full-scale military takeover. So in other words, they feel like, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading it correctly, that Russia doesn't have to use military force to go in there. So they're asking America to come to the aid. So it says President Obama raised the possibility of using UN peacekeepers to protect ethnic Russians in the Crimea if it became necessary. But Mr. Putin decided that a show of force would satisfy his personal needs and Russia's interests much better, regardless of the cost. The Russian leader needed to remind political adversaries inside Russia and pesky neighbors on the periphery that he's the boss. So this dude Vladimir Putin ain't playing, man. He ain't playing. So it says, for that, he needed a macho display of forcefulness and was only too willing to use troops and weapons to get the point across. His dream of creating a greater Russia along the lines of the old Soviet Union remains very much part of his driving ambition. Now, this is what led me to think of this scripture, so I'll read that now, and then I'll continue with the rest of the article. This is Ezekiel 38:1. And now keep in mind that Vladimir's goal is to have the old Soviet Union back. So keep that in mind. It says, Ezekiel 38:1, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So this is a part of prophecy. Vladimir Putin's vision for Russia is a part of the Lord's prophecy. You see? So continuing on, it says, the response from the United States and its allies should be twofold. Help Ukraine's fragile new government create a stable economy and impose significant sanctions on Russia. Congress can offer Ukraine the kind of bilateral loan guarantees that this country has provided to Israel and other nations in times of need. Nothing would do more to show American resolve in support of Ukraine in this moment of crisis. If Ukraine slips into economic chaos, it's broke and sinking fast, only Putin and his friends will benefit. Congress can make a vital contribution here. President Obama's first task is to persuade European allies to present a united front along with the United States to get Russia's attention. That's not an easy task, considering Europe is dependent on energy supplies that come from Russia. But Putin is counting on political divisions within the European Union to stymie a response. Disunity among the allies plays into his hands. So as you see, again, the scripture comes to mind, a house divided against itself shall not stand. All right, it says, the economic and diplomatic sanctions should be quickly forthcoming, including targeting Putin's friends in Russia's new economic elite and refusing to do business as usual in international forums until a resolution to the Ukrainian crisis is found. Aggression unanswered is aggression encouraged. That's reason enough to move swiftly. So in other words, they're calling for the United States to go save the Ukrainians. I got to go into the situation and get a little bit more information on what's going on over there. But I think there was enough given to show that prophecies are coming to pass and that the word of the Lord is living. You got a lot of people out there that have scoffed long enough, but now we're coming to a point where these major prophecies are starting to come to pass, man. So with that, I want to say to everybody across Israel, keep the faith. Isaiah 33:6 comes to mind. For wisdom and knowledge that shall be the stability of that time. So try to stay in these prophecies, stay in the scriptures, and keep your mind focused on that. And this is a message to myself as well, regardless of what outside things are weighing you down or would be overbearing on your life that could possibly make you lose focus. Regardless of those things, still try to stay focused on the task at hand. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.